Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. Jota, and today, after this super victory against Mallorca last night, we have a bunch of news to talk about, different topics, different stuff, and I want to cover as many of them as possible. But let me tell you what, it's gonna be difficult because today I could be the whole day long, talking about Real Madrid and all the things that happened last night against Mallorca. I could be covering the performance of every single player because Camavinga, David Alaba, Benzema, Marco Asensio, they did a great job individually. I could be talking about them, I don't know, for hours, so that's why I can. So I will have to highlight the most important that we have already about Real Madrid, and I'm gonna highlight three different topics, but I'm gonna give you more stuff regarding to the next game. But the most important today, it is going to be Achraf Hakimi in his last interview, where he recognizes it was a dream come true to play for Real Madrid, but this is not the most important. The thing is, this statement is coming right after Antonio Conte said for Achraf Hakimi would be a dream come true to come back to play for Real Madrid. So I will amplify a little bit this statement and give it to you all my opinion on these words, and I'm gonna give you my own opinion about if I think that it can happen in the future, Achraf Hakimi coming back to Madrid. The second thing we have to talk about, very important, is about Take Kubo, and we have good news and bad news as well, and I will tell you why. And the last one is going to be very interesting because according to Defensa Central, in one of the articles that came out this morning, Haaland wouldn't be featured in this Real Madrid lineup because Vinicius Jr. and Benzema are way better right now than the Norwegian player, which is, in my opinion, a little bit controversial. I wouldn't say that ever, because to me Erling Haaland is arguably the best soccer player right now in this moment, and of course to me Erling Haaland would be featured every single weekend in the lineup of Real Madrid. But let me get started, of course, talking about Real Madrid, and the most important, okay, who is next? Who are we going to play against the next weekend? Let me tell you what, we are playing against Villarreal. I gotta tell you, Villarreal, although is right now in a very weak position, Villarreal has played 5 games but only have won one of them and drawn the other 4, and it is not going through the best moment right now. Let me tell you, Villarreal is always a very dangerous team. It's a very dangerous side, and of course it can always be creating problems every time you have to face them off. So the thing is, last night they blasted completely to Elche 4-1 in the first victory of the season. So they are arriving to Madrid in arguably the best moment of the season for them, because it was the first victory. They are so happy, and now for them, to me, they are kind of, feeling going upwards or something like that. So that'd be problematic for Real Madrid if we come across a team that right now is so optimistic, is so happy because they won the other day and stuff like that. But other than that, I would say we shouldn't have any trouble to get rid of Villarreal and get the 3 points the next Saturday. The reason for that, it is because if they are in a good moment, we are in a much way better moment because we are winning everything. We are giving and delivering a lot of spectacular performances every single time we have to play whoever it is against. And in my opinion, Real Madrid is in a little bit better shape right now than Villarreal. So we have, I would say, 70% chance to win this game against Villarreal. And of course, it's going to be in the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium for the first time, back-to-back, 2 consecutive games in the Bernabeu Stadium, because I think that is a little bit more advantage for us. So to me, Real Madrid shouldn't have any problem to get rid of Villarreal and get the 3 points to keep moving forward in La Liga and keep growing the distance with the rest of the contenders, whether Atletico de Madrid, Valencia, FC Barcelona, or whoever it is. And the other thing, the gap is getting bigger between, in terms of goals, right? the gap is getting bigger because Real Madrid is the only one team in La Liga with up to 20 goals already, up to 20 goals so far. The next one, the second one, we have to go all the way to the bottom until Valencia, which is the second more scorer in this season with only 11 goals, and there's a big distance of about 10 goals between both of them, which is of course a very good thing for Real Madrid, because it is not only that we are top in the standings, it is also that we are, for the first time in, I would say, 4 years after Cristiano Ronaldo's departure, that we truly believe we are a team, we are a side that we are able to score a lot of goals. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the goal is not a problem anymore in Real Madrid apparently, and now it is not only the amount of goals we are able to score every single game, it is also the players who are able to score every single game, because it is not only Karim Benzema and Vinicius Jr. who are doing a great job when it comes to scoring and all the stuff. Now we have climbing up to Marco Asensio with 3 amazing goals last night, and in my opinion, if he continues playing in that position, in that role Carlo Ancelotti gave it to him last night, my opinion is he might score much more than usual, and of course beat all the odds and all the records that he already has in Real Madrid. So to me, this Real Madrid is in the perfect shape, and of course we have a lot of chances to win Villarreal. So let's move forward and let's talk now about the last statement from Achraf Hakimi. As you know, he stole the whole show of Paris Saint-Germain last night because he scored 2 goals, and this morning, I think that it was right after the game, he said something really interesting, because he said it was a dream come true to make my debut back in the day with Real Madrid, with the first team of Real Madrid. It was completely, I fulfilled a dream, and that is the top of your life, of your career. What you can do is, if you have the chance to play a single game with Real Madrid, is a kind of dream come true, and that happened like 4 years ago, and it was thanks to Zinedine Zidane, who was the commander-in-chief, who was the coach at that moment. And for Achraf Hakimi, he had a lot of good words and kind words of recognition for Zinedine Zidane, because he recognized that every once in a while they still speak each other and catch up to talk about different things and stuff. So apparently they are good friends. What I can understand though is why apparently Zinedine Zidane ruled out to get Achraf Hakimi back right after he was on loan 2 years in Borussia Dortmund, and that's when he went all the way to Italy to play in Inter de Milan. So what I don't understand is, if they have such a good relationship, why he didn't come back to Madrid, because Zinedine Zidane was on the bench at that time. And I can understand how a great player like he is right now is not playing actually for Real Madrid right now. If they had a very good relationship, it is something I can understand. So the thing with the statement of Achraf Hakimi, it is that these words are coming right after Antonio Conte a couple days ago. No, it was not a couple days ago, it was 1 week ago. He said, for Achraf Hakimi, quotation mark here, for Achraf Hakimi, that would be a dream come true to come back and play for Real Madrid again. So in a certain way, they are feeding up the rumors of a possible return of Achraf Hakimi to Real Madrid, which is in my opinion something not very realistic, considering he has a very long contract with Paris Saint-Germain. I think his contract is until, 2026 or something like that. And as you know, every time a player wants to get out of Paris Saint-Germain, it is almost impossible for them, because it is very difficult to get out from Paris Saint-Germain, because these guys, we've been talking a lot about that. They have a different mindset, different mentality. And of course, the most important is not the willing or, the will or the, maybe the desire of the player. The most important for them is just what they think. That's it. So somehow you can infer that maybe in a future a potential return of Achraf Hakimi can happen, but to me that is not going to happen anytime soon, right? He will keep playing for PSG. Right now, he's one of the best signings of PSG. He's performing incredibly good. He's playing incredibly good every single weekend. So to me, it is not possible for now to think any possible return of Achraf Hakimi. Maybe in the future, maybe in the future can happen, but of course not anytime soon. But right after the words from Antonio Conte, everybody started to think that a potential return of Achraf Hakimi can happen, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. So let's keep moving forward and let's talk now about Take Kubo. I have good news for Take Kubo and bad news for him as well. According to El Larguero in La Cadena SER, right after the game against Mallorca, some of the board members thought that Take Kubo had a very good performance or good enough to renew his contract with Real Madrid, because he's still belonging to Real Madrid. Although he's playing right now for Mallorca, he is on loan, and he has been on loan over the last 2-3 years, but Real Madrid is considering to renew the contract of the young player, because apparently potentially in the future he might become one of the most important, one of the best soccer players in Real Madrid. And actually in the game against Real Madrid, he had a couple chances. I remember the one that he won to Miguel Gutierrez. He won the back of Miguel Gutierrez, and he was very close to create some danger in the Courtois goal. But in my opinion, it is going to be very difficult. I'm okay with that, and I'm so happy for Take Kubo if he renews for Real Madrid, because he's a very good player. Problem is, if you think about the future, if you think about all the players that we have for the attack, including Rodrigo Goes, Vinicius Jr., Karim Benzema, Hazard, Brahim Diaz, Take Kubo, and also Mbappe and Haaland, it is going to be impossible for some of them to have a single chance to play in Real Madrid, unless if we are talking about the attack. The attack is going to be with a lot of traffic. It's going to be so busy, and it's going to be almost impossible to get a chance to succeed in Real Madrid. Other than Mbappe or Erling Haaland or even Vinicius, that already have a status in Real Madrid or for Los Madridistas or for the soccer spectrum, if you are not included in this top 3 list, to me, it is almost impossible for you to succeed in Real Madrid right now, even if you are Take Kubo or even Brahim Diaz. So to me, it is gonna be difficult, but it's good news, because to me, Take Kubo is still a very important player, and of course Real Madrid has to protect these promising players for the future, because you never know what can happen, right? So we don't know. Now we have to Rodrigo Goes, Vinicius Jr. and all these people, but who knows, in the future they might leave Real Madrid for whatever the reason, right? So you have to protect to the future, to the youngsters and all this stuff. So the bad news when it comes to Kubo is that this morning he showed up in Valdebebas for medical purposes, and apparently the guy was I don't know whether injured or achy or something like that. He had something in the knee, which is a very complicated area, because every time you hear a player has something in the knee, it might be just nothing, but it might be big deal. So apparently the Real Madrid medical staff, they were taking a look at it, and we don't know yet what happened. They haven't been released any kind of information about Kubo and his knee and the injury and all the stuff, but apparently he was there for that reason, for medical purposes. So we will keep monitoring the situation, and if we know something, we of course share with you all as usual. So now let's move forward and let's get started with the most important and controversial statement that I came across this morning, and it was this article from Defensa Central claiming Erling Haaland wouldn't have a 100% sure spot in the lineup of this Real Madrid with Vinicius Jr. and Karim Benzema ahead of him. So, okay, the first thing, what do you guys think about that? Would you think, that Erling Haaland is not able to get a spot in this kind of Real Madrid with Vinicius Jr. and Benzema flourishing and booming and succeeding and all this stuff? Okay, let me tell you my opinion. I am 100% against this affirmation. I'm 100% against this thing that Defensa Central, or the person who has written the article, is claiming. Because, okay, Vinicius Jr. right now, Benzema, of course, Benzema has a more contrasted experience and stuff. But Vinicius Jr., let's be honest, is the first season he's scoring this amount of goals. He's being so important, and of course we still don't know yet if this is something serious or it's just something trendy, something that is happening right now but is going to end in the near future or something like that. On the other hand, Erling Haaland is a guy who has been succeeding and scoring a lot of goals and being the most important player of his team over the last 2 to 3 years. I mean, it is not a player who is, outstanding right now or is, doing his best performances in this season. No, it's not like that. Erling Haaland is a player that has been around in the top of the best players of Europe in the last, over the last 2 to 3 years. So to me, Erling Haaland, if he is signed by Real Madrid for the next year, the first thing I would do is to put him in the lineup right quick. And the other thing you have to think about it, Karim Benzema is not a youngster anymore. I mean, Karim Benzema is a 33-year-old guy who still have soccer in his feet, but of course at some point soon he will start a thing in the retirement. And not only in the retirement, when even the board members of Real Madrid, when they have to look forward and planning ahead and all the stuff, of course the first thing that it will come to their minds, it's the youngsters, it's the young players, and Erling Haaland has everything. Erling Haaland has experience, is still super young player, and of course is talented enough to play in Real Madrid and wherever it is. So to me, it is impossible to conceive the possibility for Real Madrid to sign Erling Haaland and sit him down on the bench. To me, that is not going to happen. If Real Madrid is able to sign Erling Haaland, because apparently that is something that is going to happen very likely, Erling Haaland will be there, whether in the, playing alongside Benzema with only 2 forwards, or I don't know. I know that Carlo Ancelotti will figure that out, how to line up 4 forwards, including Erling Haaland, because it is impossible to think Carlo Ancelotti will not count on a super player, which is a baller, which is the top scorer in Europe right now alongside Benzema. It is completely impossible for me and for any Madridista out there to think that you are going to sign Erling Haaland or even Kylian Mbappe and you are going to sit them down on the bench. That is completely impossible, and of course that is not going to happen. So let me know what you guys think about that, and of course let me know about the rest of the topics and things about and news about Real Madrid and all the stuff, and see you in the next video.